Life can feel unbearably heavy, swirling with tangled thoughts and overwhelming worries that trap us in chaos. But what if the power to break free wasn't outside of us, but inside? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy practiced by some of history's greatest minds, offers us something more profound than fleeting therapy sessions or surface-level fixes. It reveals a roadmap to reclaiming our inner fortress, teaching us how to stand firm regardless of life's storms. This video dives deep into 10 transformative Stoic meditations, tools designed not just to soothe your mind, but to fundamentally change how you see and engage with the world. You'll discover how mastering what's within your control can shatter anxiety, how training your mind to be indifferent to distractions frees your energy, and how every obstacle is actually a doorway to resilience and growth. These aren't just ideas. They are practical, daily disciplines that build emotional muscle, nurture simplicity, and elevate virtues that serve as your internal compass. Embracing impermanence, quieting the noise within, and living as if this present moment alone matters, will reconnect you with a serenity so deep it renders external chaos powerless. This journey isn't about denying emotions or pretending life is easy. It's about stepping into your role as the true author of your choices, breaking free from the tyranny of circumstance and inner turmoil. By the end, you won't just understand Stoicism, you'll feel it, embody it, and begin a path toward lasting peace, self-mastery, and clarity that far outpaces conventional psychology. Prepare to challenge everything you thought about control, emotion, and meaning. This is more than philosophy. It's the art of thriving when the world feels out of control. 10 most impactful Stoic meditations that outshine psychology. 1. Focus only on what you can control. 2. Train indifference to the irrelevant. 3. Turn obstacles into opportunities. 4. Practice daily discipline. 5. Accept life's impermanence. 6. Master your emotions. 7. Pursue simplicity in all things. 8. Cultivate virtues as the highest good. 9. Harness the power of silence. 10. Live fully in the present moment. If this is making sense to you so far, if these ancient ideas are starting to resonate with the modern challenges you face, please take a moment to like the video and share it with someone who truly needs to hear this message. Your support helps these insights reach more minds seeking clarity in a chaotic world. We've explored how reclaiming our focus on what we can control, training ourselves to be indifferent to the noise, and transforming every obstacle into a stepping stone are foundational practices. But Stoicism, in its profound wisdom, doesn't stop there. It calls us to embody a life of intentionality, pushing us beyond mere understanding to deep, personal integration. The journey to inner mastery continues as we delve into the remaining powerful meditations. Imagine your mind as a garden. Without consistent tending, it quickly becomes overgrown with weeds of distraction, procrastination, and self-doubt. Daily discipline, in the Stoic tradition, is not about harsh self-punishment. It is about consistent, deliberate cultivation. It's the purposeful effort to prune away what doesn't serve you and nourish what does. This isn't about grand, heroic gestures, but the quiet, persistent commitment to small, virtuous actions that, compounded over time, forge an unshakable character. In our modern world, discipline often feels like a relic, a burden to be avoided in favor of instant gratification and boundless comfort. We are constantly tempted by the path of least resistance, the endless scroll instead of deep work, the sugary snack instead of the nourishing meal, the passive consumption instead of active creation. But the Stoics understood that true freedom isn't the absence of constraints. It's the liberation from internal servitude to our impulses and fleeting desires. Consider your morning routine. How often do you hit snooze, allowing the comfort of the bed to win over your intention to start the day with purpose? Or how about your digital habits? Do you mindlessly pick up your phone the moment you wake, allowing the algorithms to dictate the first impressions of your day? Or do you choose a moment of quiet reflection, a focused task, or a brief, invigorating exercise? These seemingly small choices are battlegrounds for your discipline. Each time you choose the harder, more deliberate path, rising at your intended hour, dedicating even 5 minutes to a challenging task, resisting the urge to check social media during focused work, you are not just completing an action. You are exercising your will. You are strengthening your inner muscle of self-control. This practice isn't about being perfect. It's about the consistent attempt. It's about failing and getting back up, about acknowledging the struggle and choosing to try again. Seneca observed that it is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult. Discipline makes things easier by making us stronger. It's the courage to set boundaries with yourself, to commit to tasks that are important but not urgent, to prioritize long-term growth over short-term pleasure. Think about the discipline of focused attention. In an age of constant notification pings and fragmented tasks, the ability to concentrate deeply on one thing, whether it's a report for work, a conversation with a loved one, or a book, is a superpower. It requires discipline to switch off distractions, to resist the urge to multitask, and to bring your entire mental presence to the task at hand. This isn't just about productivity. It's about fully engaging with life, extracting meaning and value from every experience. When you apply discipline to your attention, you find that your mind becomes clearer, your work more meaningful, and your relationships more profound. Moreover, daily discipline extends to our mental landscape. It's the discipline of questioning intrusive thoughts, of challenging negative self-talk, of choosing a rational perspective over an emotional reaction. It's the conscious effort to redirect your mind from worry to action, from dwelling on the past to focusing on the present. This internal discipline, cultivated daily, builds an internal fortress against the storms of anxiety and regret. It teaches you that your mind is not a passenger in a runaway vehicle, but the skilled driver, capable of steering through any terrain with intention. So how will you practice daily discipline today? Will it be dedicating a specific block of time to a challenging task? Will it be consciously putting your phone away during a meal? Will it be engaging in a brief period of quiet contemplation before your day begins? Whatever it is, choose one small, consistent act of self-mastery. Let it be a testament to your commitment to building a stronger, more resilient self, one disciplined choice at a time. Accept life's impermanence. One of the most profound and liberating truths offered by Stoicism is the meditation on impermanence, often summarized by the Latin phrase memento mori, remember you will die. This isn't a morbid obsession with death, but a powerful catalyst for living more fully. It's the recognition that everything, absolutely everything, is fleeting. Our possessions, our relationships, our physical health, our successes, our failures, even our very lives, all are transient, here for a time and then gone. Embracing this truth is not about pessimism. It's about radical acceptance and a profound appreciation for what is. In our modern world, we often cling desperately to stability, security, and the illusion of permanence. We build our lives on assumptions that things will remain the same, that our jobs are secure, our relationships will endure, our youth will linger, our financial stability will last forever. This clinging creates immense suffering when the inevitable happens. When a loved one passes, a job is lost, a relationship ends, or our health declines. A resistance to change, a refusal to accept life's fluid nature, is a primary source of our anxiety and discontent. The Stoics taught us to recognize that we are merely custodians of what we hold, not owners. Seneca famously wrote, "We are born to die." This isn't a threat, it's a fact. When we truly internalize this, it shifts our perspective. Suddenly, the trivial annoyances that consume our energy shrink in significance. The grudges we hold, the petty arguments, the endless pursuit of external validation, these all lose their grip when viewed through the lens of our limited time. Consider your attachments. Are you clinging tightly to a particular outcome in your career, an image of how your family should be, or even a specific personal identity? When these attachments are threatened or changed, do you experience immense emotional turmoil? The meditation on impermanence encourages a healthy detachment, not indifference, but an understanding that while we can influence, we cannot control the ultimate fate of things. It allows us to love deeply, work diligently, and experience joy fully, without the crushing weight of expectation that things will last forever. Think about the loss of a relationship or a friendship. It's natural to grieve, but an acceptance of impermanence helps us navigate that grief, not by denying it, but by acknowledging that every connection, however profound, also exists within the flow of time. It teaches us to cherish the moments we have, to express our appreciation, and to cultivate gratitude for the shared journey, knowing that journeys often have endings. Moreover, the acceptance of our own mortality imbues our daily lives with a sense of urgency and purpose. If this day, this hour, this conversation could be your last, how would you choose to live it? Would you spend it consumed by fear, resentment, or trivial distractions? Or would you engage with intention, presence, and kindness? Memento Mori isn't a call to nihilism, but a profound invitation to carpe diem, to seize the day, not in a hedonistic pursuit of fleeting pleasures, but in a virtuous pursuit of what truly matters. It's about letting go of what is outside your control. You cannot control when or how things will end, but you can control how you choose to respond to their impermanence. You can choose to appreciate their presence while they are here, to learn from their absence when they are gone, and to cultivate an inner resilience that understands flux is the only constant. This doesn't mean we don't plan for the future or strive for improvement. It means we do so with an open hand, recognizing that our best efforts might still encounter unforeseen circumstances. It means we embrace amor fati, love of fate, not just accepting what happens, but actively embracing it as part of the unfolding tapestry of life, understanding that even perceived misfortunes contain lessons and opportunities for growth. By meditating on impermanence, we become less fragile. We learn to flow with life's currents rather than fighting against them. We find a deep well of peace in understanding that while change is inevitable, our capacity for wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance remains. These virtues, unlike external circumstances, are not subject to decay. They are our true and lasting possessions. 6. Master your emotions. Perhaps no Stoic meditation is more misunderstood or more vital in our emotionally charged modern world than the mastery of emotions. Many mistakenly believe Stoicism advocates for the suppression of feelings, for becoming cold, unfeeling automatons. Nothing could be further from the truth. The Stoics recognize that emotions are a natural part of the human experience. What they advocated for was not their eradication, but their mastery, becoming the commander of your emotional landscape rather than its helpless prisoner. Think of emotions not as enemies to be banished, but as messengers. They carry information. Fear tells you there might be danger. Anger tells you a boundary might have been crossed. Sadness tells you something valuable has been lost. The Stoic approach is to listen to the message, but then to critically evaluate its validity and to choose your response, rather than being swept away by the raw, untamed force of the emotion itself. In our contemporary society, we are often encouraged to feel all our feelings, to let them run wild. Or conversely, to numb them with distractions. We see outrage amplified on social media, anxiety becoming a default state, and fleeting frustrations escalating into all-consuming anger. This isn't emotional health, it's emotional chaos. The Stoics offered a different path, a path of discernment, reason, and profound self-awareness. The key Stoic insight here is the gap between stimulus and response. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Between the external event, the stimulus, and your emotional outburst, the response, lies a crucial moment, a pause. In that pause, we have the power to interject reason. We can question the automatic judgments that trigger our intense emotions. For example, a colleague sends a terse email. Your immediate reaction might be anger or hurt. They're disrespecting me. They think I'm incompetent, but a Stoic pause allows you to ask, is that interpretation necessarily true? Are there other explanations for their tone? Perhaps they are stressed, or rushed, or simply poor communicators. By challenging your initial, often irrational judgments, you can deflate the emotional charge before it takes hold. You gain the power to choose a calmer, more rational response. Perhaps a polite clarification, or even just letting it go. This mastery isn't about denying sadness after a loss, but about processing it with clarity, understanding its source, and preventing it from becoming an all-consuming despair that paralyzes you from engaging with life. It's about recognizing anger when it arises, but then stepping back to ask if it serves you, if it's proportionate, and if there's a more constructive way to address the perceived injustice. Often, our anger harms us more than the object of our rage. A practical Stoic technique for emotional mastery is the premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This involves mentally rehearsing potential future difficulties or misfortunes. Not to dwell morbidly, but to prepare your mind and temper your emotional reaction. If you imagine losing your job, or facing a difficult conversation, or experiencing a public failure, you mentally run through how you would respond with reason and virtue. This practice inoculates you against the shock of unexpected events, allowing you to meet them with equanimity rather than panic. Another facet is cultivating emotional resilience by developing apatheia, a state often mistranslated as apathy, but which truly means freedom from disturbing passions. It's not about feeling nothing, but about not being disturbed by emotions, not allowing them to dictate your behavior or your inner peace. It's the tranquility that comes from knowing you are in charge of your inner world, regardless of external circumstances. In a world constantly vying for your emotional reaction, demanding outrage, fear, or instant gratification. Mastering your emotions is an act of profound liberation. It allows you to navigate the complexities of modern life with a calm center, to make decisions based on reason and virtue, rather than impulsive feelings, and to protect your inner peace from the relentless assault of external triggers. It's the ultimate expression of self-possession, the unwavering certainty that while the world may present you with challenges, your emotional response remains squarely in your command. Pursue simplicity in all things. In an era defined by excess, overconsumption, and information overload, the Stoic call to pursue simplicity feels both radical and deeply refreshing. Simplicity, for the Stoics, was not merely an aesthetic choice or a trend. It was a profound philosophical stance, a deliberate cultivation of inner peace by disentangling oneself from the complexities and burdens of unnecessary external possessions, desires, and mental clutter. Our modern lives are often characterized by a relentless pursuit of more. More possessions, more experiences, more followers, more achievements. We are conditioned to believe that happiness lies just beyond the next purchase, the next promotion, or the next social media validation. But this endless chase leads not to contentment, but to a perpetual state of longing, anxiety, and comparison. The Stoics understood that true richness comes not from accumulation, but from sufficiency, knowing what is enough, and finding profound contentment in it. Consider the sheer volume of choices we face daily. What to buy, what to watch, what to scroll through, what to wear, what to eat. This constant barrage of options, far from liberating us, often paralyzes us with decision fatigue and an underlying sense of dissatisfaction. The Stoic path of simplicity cuts through this noise. It encourages us to ask, what do I truly need? What genuinely adds value to my life, and what is merely a distraction or a burden? This pursuit of simplicity extends beyond physical possessions. It encompasses our mental landscape. How cluttered is your mind with worries about the future, regrets about the past, or incessant chatter from external sources? News cycles, social media feeds, other people's opinions. Just as a cluttered room drains your energy, a cluttered mind diminishes your clarity and peace. Simplicity here means deliberately curating your mental inputs, protecting your attention, and letting go of unnecessary mental burdens. Think about the impact of consumerism. We are constantly bombarded with messages telling us we are incomplete without the latest gadget, fashion, or lifestyle upgrade. This creates a cycle of desire, acquisition, and temporary satisfaction, quickly followed by renewed desire. Seneca, in his letters, often critiqued the pursuit of luxury, not because luxury itself was evil, but because the desire for it enslaved the mind, making one dependent on external things for happiness. Simplicity frees us from this economic and psychological tyranny. It allows us to find contentment in the basic, fundamental aspects of life: good health, meaningful relationships, purposeful work, and an unburdened mind. Practically, pursuing simplicity might mean decluttering your physical space, donating items you no longer use, and resisting impulse purchases. It might mean unsubscribing from unnecessary emails, muting distracting notifications, or setting aside specific times for consuming news or social media, rather than letting it bleed into every moment of your day. It could also mean simplifying your schedule, saying no to commitments that don't align with your values, and creating more space for rest, reflection, and genuinely important activities. Moreover, simplicity fosters gratitude. When you realize how little you truly need to live a good life, you begin to appreciate the abundance you already possess. A simple meal becomes a feast. A quiet walk in nature becomes a profound experience, and a sincere conversation becomes a cherished moment. This shift in perspective transforms everyday life from a relentless striving into a continuous source of quiet joy. The pursuit of simplicity is an active, ongoing process. It's a constant reevaluation of what serves your highest good and what merely complicates your existence. It's about choosing intentionality over default, substance over superficiality, and inner peace over external showmanship. By simplifying our lives, we not only reduce stress and anxiety, but we create the necessary space for what truly matters: our character, our virtues, and our ability to live a life aligned with reason. Cultivate virtues as the highest good. If there is a core principle, a guiding star in the Stoic firmament, it is the unwavering conviction that virtue is the sole and highest good. This isn't a suggestion. It's a radical assertion that stands in stark contrast to much of modern thought, which often equates good with wealth, fame, pleasure, or power. For the Stoics, these external things are indifferents. They can be used well or poorly, but they do not in themselves determine a good life. What truly matters, what is entirely within our control, and utterly foundational to human flourishing, is the cultivation of our character through virtue. The Stoics identified 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. These aren't abstract ideals. They are practical, actionable qualities that provide an internal compass, guiding our thoughts, choices, and actions in every situation. Wisdom, phronesis. This is not mere book knowledge, but practical wisdom. The ability to discern what is truly good and bad, what is within our control and what is not, and how to navigate complex situations with sound judgment. In our age of information overload and conflicting narratives, wisdom is the ability to filter noise, to think critically, to seek truth, and to apply reason to life's challenges. It's the wisdom to know how to live well, a straight, practical wisdom. It extends beyond legal fairness to encompass kindness, benevolence, and treating all human beings with dignity and respect. It's the commitment to doing what is right for the community, for others, and for oneself. In a world often driven by self-interest and division, justice calls us to consider our impact, to act with integrity, and to contribute positively to the common good. It asks us to recognize our shared humanity. Courage, Andrea, isn't just physical bravery, but moral and intellectual fortitude. It's the courage to face adversity, to stand up for what is right, even when it's unpopular, to confront our fears, and to persevere in the face of difficulty. In modern life, this could be the courage to have an uncomfortable conversation, to pursue a challenging goal, to admit a mistake, or to resist social pressure and stay true to your values. Temperance, sophrosyne, also translated as moderation, self-control, or discipline. Temperance is the ability to govern our desires and impulses, to live with balance and to avoid excess. In a consumer-driven society that constantly tempts us to overindulge in food, drink, entertainment, spending, or even work, temperance provides the inner strength to choose what is healthy and proportionate, rather than being enslaved by our appetites. These 4 virtues are interconnected, each supporting and reinforcing the others. To act justly requires wisdom to discern the right action, courage to execute it, and temperance to control any selfish impulses. When we cultivate these virtues, we build an unshakable inner core. External circumstances may fluctuate wildly, but our character, our moral compass, remains steady. Think about a difficult decision you're facing, perhaps at work, in a relationship, or a personal dilemma. How would your approach change if your primary goal wasn't just personal gain or avoiding discomfort, but to act with wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance? This shift in perspective is transformative. It moves you from reacting to external pressures to acting from a place of internal strength and integrity. In our modern context, the cultivation of virtue often feels countercultural. We are encouraged to optimize for outcomes, for personal branding, for immediate satisfaction. But the Stoics remind us that true fulfillment comes from being a good person, from living in accordance with our rational nature, from consistently striving to do the right thing. This isn't about seeking praise. It's about building a character that you can genuinely respect, regardless of external recognition. Moreover, a life guided by virtue is inherently robust. When your good resides within your character, it cannot be taken away by misfortune, economic downturns, social judgment, or even physical illness. Your inner fortress remains inviolable. This brings a deep, stable peace that external successes or failures can never provide. Cultivating virtues is not a one-time achievement, but a lifelong practice. It's about daily reflection, examining our actions, learning from our mistakes, and continuously striving to align our choices with these enduring principles. It means asking ourselves, what would a wise, just, courageous, and temperate person do in this situation? It is through this consistent effort that we truly become the authors of our character, forging a life of meaning, purpose, and unshakable inner strength. 9. Harness the power of silence. In a world that seems perpetually connected, constantly buzzing with notifications, endless media streams, and the insistent demands of instant communication, the Stoic meditation on harnessing the power of silence feels almost revolutionary. We live in an age of unprecedented noise, not just auditory, but also informational and mental. This constant external clamor, however, often mirrors and exacerbates an equally relentless internal din, making clarity, deep thought, and genuine self-awareness increasingly elusive. For the Stoics, silence was not merely the absence of sound. It was the presence of an opportunity for introspection, for focused thought, for recalibration of the mind. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, found his quiet moments amidst the chaos of empire, constantly reminding himself to retreat into his inner citadel. This wasn't about escaping reality, but about creating the mental space to engage with it more effectively. Consider your own daily life. How much true silence do you experience? Is your morning commute filled with podcasts or news? Are your evenings accompanied by the television or social media? Do you feel uncomfortable when there's no background noise? This aversion to silence is a modern malady, preventing us from engaging with our own thoughts, feelings, and the subtle cues of our environment. When we constantly fill every moment with external stimulation, we prevent our minds from processing, consolidating, and reflecting. We become reactive rather than proactive. Our attention spans shrink, and our capacity for deep work or sustained contemplation diminishes. The power of silence lies in its ability to strip away the superficial, allowing the essential to emerge. Practically, harnessing silence can take many forms. It could be as simple as dedicating the first 5 minutes of your day to quiet contemplation before checking your phone or engaging with others. It might involve taking a walk without headphones, allowing your senses to truly absorb your surroundings. It could mean scheduling deep work blocks where all notifications are turned off and you immerse yourself fully in a single task, free from interruption. Think about the impact of constant digital noise. Every notification, every email, every social media update pulls your attention away from the present moment and fragments your focus. By consciously choosing periods of silence, digital or otherwise, you reclaim your attention and your mental energy. You create the space for original thought, for problem solving, and for genuine creativity that cannot flourish in a fragmented, noisy environment. Moreover, silence is a potent tool for emotional regulation. When emotions are running high, retreating into a quiet space allows us to observe our feelings without immediately reacting. It provides the necessary distance to apply reason, to question our initial judgments, and to choose a deliberate response rather than being swept away by impulse. It cultivates the gap between stimulus and response that we discussed earlier, giving us back our agency. The quiet moments also allow us to engage in Stoic practices like negative visualization, premeditatio malorum, or reflecting on our virtues and our progress. It's in the quiet that we can truly listen to our inner voice, assess our values, and align our actions with our philosophical principles. Without this space for introspection, we risk living on autopilot, driven by external forces and unexamined assumptions. Harnessing the power of silence isn't about becoming a hermit or withdrawing from the world. It's about strategically integrating moments of quiet into your busy life to cultivate inner peace, mental clarity, and profound self-awareness. It's an act of self-care and self-mastery that allows you to show up more fully, more intentionally, and more effectively in the noisy world. It reminds you that sometimes the most powerful insights aren't shouted from the rooftops, but emerge from the quiet depths of your own cultivated stillness. Live fully in the present moment. After navigating the complexities of control, indifference, obstacles, discipline, impermanence, emotions, simplicity, virtues, and silence, we arrive at what often feels like the culmination of Stoic wisdom, the profound practice of living fully in the present moment. This is not a passive acceptance of whatever happens, but an active, conscious engagement with the now, recognizing it as the only reality we truly possess. In our modern lives, we are often expert time travelers, constantly oscillating between the past and the future. We dwell on past regrets, replaying mistakes or losses, allowing them to cast long shadows over our current experience. Or we anxiously project into the future, worrying about what might happen, fixating on desired outcomes, or meticulously planning every detail. While reflecting on the past and planning for the future have their place, an excessive focus on either pulls us away from the one place where life actually happens, right here, right now. The Stoics understood that the past is gone and unchangeable, and the future is uncertain and outside of our complete control. The only domain where we exert true influence, the only time in which we can act with virtue and reason, is this very moment. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to not be anxious about the future, for if you come to it, you will meet it with the same reason which you use now for the present. This is a powerful antidote to modern anxiety. Think about the countless moments you've missed because your mind was elsewhere. A meal devoured without tasting, a conversation heard but not listened to, a beautiful sunset observed only through a phone screen. We are often present physically, but absent mentally, trapped in a continuous stream of thought that distracts us from the richness and immediacy of life itself. Living fully in the present moment, as the Stoics teach, means bringing your complete attention and conscious awareness to whatever you are doing right now. If you are eating, you taste the food, feel its texture, notice the flavors. If you are talking to someone, you actively listen, making eye contact, fully engaged in the exchange. If you are working, you immerse yourself in the task, letting go of distractions and focusing your energy. This isn't just a mindful practice, it's a virtuous one, as it demonstrates wisdom, discipline, and respect for the experience. This meditation frees us from the tyranny of both regret and anticipation. When you fully embrace the present, the weight of the past naturally diminishes, as you recognize its unchangeable nature and shift your energy to where you can make a difference. Similarly, the anxiety about the future loses its grip, because you realize that the most effective way to prepare for what's ahead is to act skillfully and virtuously in the only moment available to you. Consider the simple act of breathing. It is always happening in the present. By focusing on your breath, even for a few seconds, you can anchor yourself back to the now, pulling your attention away from the mental chatter that often seeks to drag you into past grievances or future worries. This is a powerful, accessible tool for regaining presence throughout your day. Moreover, living fully in the present cultivates gratitude. When you are truly present, you notice the small blessings, the sensory details, the simple joys that often pass us by when our minds are elsewhere. The warmth of your coffee, the sound of birdsong, the comfort of your chair, the smile of a loved one. These become tangible sources of contentment when you are fully engaged with them. This doesn't mean ignoring responsibilities or abandoning planning. It means that when you plan, you do so with your full, present attention, and then you return to whatever the next immediate task or experience demands. It means that when you reflect on the past, you do so to learn, and then you return to the present with renewed wisdom. Living fully in the present moment is the ultimate expression of self-mastery, because it is here that we make our choices, exert our will, and apply our virtues. It is here that we truly live. By embracing this powerful meditation, you reclaim your life from the abstract realms of what was and what might be, and root yourself firmly in the rich, dynamic reality of what is. It is in this present moment that your power resides, that your peace is found, and that your life truly unfolds. These 10 Stoic meditations, when diligently practiced, are not just concepts, they are transformative tools that build an inner fortress capable of withstanding any storm. They don't promise a life free of challenges, but a mind free from unnecessary suffering. They don't offer superficial fixes, but a profound reorientation of your perspective, allowing you to reclaim your agency and author a life of meaning and tranquility. As Epictetus wisely taught, no man is free who is not a master of himself. This is the essence of the Stoic path, the journey to self-mastery, to living a life of profound clarity and unwavering inner strength. It is a journey that asks you to challenge your assumptions, to prune away what doesn't serve you, and to cultivate the virtues that are your true and lasting possessions. So, I leave you with this question. If your peace, your freedom, and your happiness truly reside within your control, within your judgments, your reactions, and your choices in this very moment. What will you choose to build within your inner fortress today? If this video has resonated with you, if it has offered a glimpse into a more resilient way of living, please subscribe to the channel for more content that seeks to illuminate the path to enduring wisdom. And I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these Stoic meditations speaks most powerfully to you right now? And how do you plan to integrate it into your daily life? Your insights contribute to a community committed to self-mastery and inner peace.